Good evening. My name is Jonathan Beasley again, and tonight we're going to talk about moral subjectivism and moral objectivism. We're going to try to do a negative argument to the best of my ability and a positive argument from a philosophical sense, not that I'm going to be actually negative or positive. To start it off, we'll talk about subjectivism, not even moral, but just basic subjectivism. And subjectivism is, based on each person themselves. So, perfect example is Diet Mountain Dew. I love Diet Mountain Dew, and I love Baylor football. So, if I was to say that Diet Mountain Dew is the best soda out there, and the Baylor Bears are obviously the greatest college football team in the world, you couldn't really argue that because, that subjectively that's what I believe. Well, you could the football thing, but as far as the Mountain Dew, you can't. However, that doesn't mean that it's right. It's just right for me. That Diet Mountain Dew tastes the best to me, so therefore I can say it's the best. No different than you say Coke is the best because Coke tastes the best to you. If we were to discuss this on a moral stance, then that's when things become a lot more complicated. For example, I spent some time in Afghanistan. And in Afghanistan, it is moral and legally okay for you to rape your wife after 2 weeks if she has not had sex with you. So, in other words, if you're married to a woman and she does not consent to sex with you for 2 weeks, you can rape her. That obviously is something that is frowned upon in the United States. Rape, pretty much in the United States, is a no-no. Whether it's, anybody or anything, anywhere, any place. However, in Afghanistan, rape's a pretty common thing, and it's not so much viewed upon as a negative thing. So for moral subjectivism, you can't really say that they're wrong, because if you are a moral subjectivist, then you can say, okay, rape is wrong for me, but it's not wrong for you. So morally, I guess it's okay for you to rape people because rape is morally okay for you. Which, by the way, I pretty much think that's ludicrous. Anybody who believes that's, yeah. However, we also have moral objectivism. And moral objectivism is, from what I understand, it's like saying there's a natural or an actual true moral right and wrong for every answer out there. I'm religious, so obviously I believe that's correct. To me, I believe the moral answers are based off my faith. For others, it could be anything. But at the same time, we as a whole all agree that there is a natural and moral truth out there. Murder is a great example of that. We all can pretty much agree murder is wrong. But we don't necessarily know that for every other answer out there. And I think that's why we have to talk about everything from a philosophical viewpoint and discuss it so we can try to find out what's right and wrong, and not just right for you and right for me, but right for everybody out there. As far as legality or cultural ethics and morals go, they can be just as skewed as anybody else's personal belief. Perfect example is back to the rape of your wife in Afghanistan. You have an entire nation that believes that's okay. Does that make it any more right than just one person believing it? No. Does it make it more right if everybody in the world believed that except for one person? No. It does make it legal, but it does not make it right. On the same sense, if I was to say, I morally think it's wrong, and I've got a whole nation that believes it's morally wrong, does that mean it's necessarily morally wrong just because we say it is? And again, the answer is no. There's a natural answer out there somewhere. We just have to try to discover it. Hope I've touched bases on everything you've asked for, and I hope you've enjoyed this and it has brought a little bit of insight onto these topics. Thank you and have a great evening.